Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Business here at the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper. And today's episode is especially for the moms, the ones who are juggling the snacks, the schedules, the doctor's appointments, life, and still trying to carve out space for their own dreams.
So, if you're here with us today, we're so glad you're here. We want you to go ahead and post here in the chat where you're coming from. We love seeing where everyone is at. We want this to be very engaging. So, please get started. We'll also, as we go through, if you have questions, post your questions. We'll answer as much as we can. So, all right. We are here today with our founder and CEO, Tiffani Higgins. She's a mom of four. She's a former overworked accountant and the woman who built a business from her kitchen table that turned into the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. And she has helped thousands of women build their own businesses from home. So, welcome here, Tiffani. We're excited you're so excited that you're here with us today.
Thank you so much. And I love that intro. It made me feel like I'm in the right place.
I love it. Well, you are, because today we are talking about something that I've heard you say all the time. Moms make the best bookkeepers. And if you are a mom listening, this episode is here to show you why your life experience may have already prepared you for something incredible, which is bookkeeping. So, Tiffani, like I said, you've said many times that moms are uniquely wired to succeed as bookkeepers. What made you first notice that connection? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, typically moms are running the household, you are organizing everything and all sorts of different types of things, sports schedules, but like registering for school, making sure they have all of their supplies, planning ahead, health stuff. Like we worry about health. We try to make kids eat healthy. We research products, and then, bedtime routines, just like everything we have to organize it all, figure it all out, and then also, help cultivate that great environment for the kids and be able to communicate well with them, teach them how to communicate back. Maybe even some of us are homeschooling, which is a whole nother level of being able to have a bunch of different skills that really translate over into bookkeeping with homeschooling. But being able to keep all of that organized and under control and running and multitasking is exactly what you would need in a bookkeeping business. I would probably say bookkeeping's easier than being a mom, to be honest.
We reverse that real quickly.
So, can you go into a little bit more detail about that? I'm hearing the word organization a lot, which a lot of people worry as a bookkeeper, you need to be great at math. Um, uh, Intro Deanna here who will say, I failed math.
I failed
But no,
math
you
in
don't.
college, just saying.
So it sounds like you just need the skills of being an organized mom. So can you give us some real examples of how those mom skills, organizing other things that you listed, how that transfers perfectly into running a bookkeeping business and do bookkeeping for other businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're totally right. Bookkeeping is numbers, right? And you may have to add, but there's calculators. You don't actually have to be good at math because all you're doing is organizing those numbers. And the math is all done inside the software, so you don't even have to worry about that. But making sure that you're organizing those numbers in the appropriate spots where they need to be, and being able to keep track of the status of each client that you have, and being able to keep track of any requests that they may have or questions, and organizing all of that data, putting those things in proper categories so that it matches up with their tax return. It's very simple stuff, just arranging things. Like, have you ever organized your kid's toy room? I mean, that's basically what bookkeeping is. It's just on the computer.
So I know I've raised three kids and you've raised five, I think sometimes six kids while building your business, Tiff. So, what are some surprising ways that being a mom actually made you more efficient, or maybe let's just use the word effective, as a business owner?
Yeah, really lots of ways. I think for me especially, I have a very strong drive to spend a lot of quality time with my kids. I remember when they were younger, my ex's grandma told me it's all about the quality, not the quantity. And I've never forgotten that because I didn't agree with her. I believe it's about the quality and the quantity. At least for me, my love language is quality time. So I need a lot of it. So I have always been driven very hard in my business to be able to figure out how can I make it work where I can spend as much time with my kids as possible. And so that driving force for me has helped me really get my business to where I needed it to be so that I could. So, for example, I may be growing my business and spending time on that, but now I can afford to pay somebody to clean. So I don't have to do that. And I can spend time with my kids and we can go to the trampoline park while someone's at my house cleaning. So there's been things like that that have really, I feel like have has been my focus.
I love that. I actually agree with you too, because I've done the same thing. I remember every Saturday as a kid, my mom and our whole family, we cleaned all day Saturday. And I don't have to do that now. Like I
Mhm.
enjoy the fact that I can get up and go spend time with my kids or my grandkids and things like that. Let's talk about mom guilt for just a moment. And I know I've struggled with it in the past. I mean, I started my first business 32 years ago, and um I know a lot of moms, they actually struggle with what we call the mom guilt. And that's when you're
Mhm.
pursuing something for themselves. And so they feel guilty about that. And so, how
Mhm.
did you work through that in your early days? And what would you tell the moms now who are starting to feel that or are going through that themselves?
Yeah, really, I think there's two paths. So it kind of depends on where you are. If you are somebody that's working outside of the house, away from your kids, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, obviously switching to this bookkeeping business should really honestly eliminate a lot of your guilt because you're going to have so much more time available. Most of the people that we've helped that are outside of the house, 50 plus hours a week, when they replace their income with their bookkeeping business, they only have to work like 10 to 15 hours a week for the same money. So that's a huge amount of time
Mhm.
that you get back with your kids that you won't have to feel guilty about anymore. And then of course those hours can be worked at any time of the day for the most part, maybe outside of like a networking meeting that you have to go to. But that gives you the ability to never have to miss their sports, never have to miss school stuff. You can eat lunch with them at school. Like our kids, half the time they don't even want to ride the bus. Would I like for them to ride the bus? So it gives me an extra hour. Yes, but they don't want to. So I can drive them and pick them up every day, and I don't have to feel bad because I made them do something that they didn't feel comfortable doing. So there's that. So if you're working a lot, that will really help. Now, on the flip side, if you're already home, you're already spending a lot of time, but maybe you really need to start this business because you guys need more financial freedom. You may feel guilty at first spending time doing that because I know I did. I quit my job first and then started my bookkeeping business. And so I did feel a little guilty at first trying to grow this while I was home with my newborn. But I kept reminding myself that if I get a little bit of this in place, even if it's a small amount, $2, $3,000 a month, I can stay home with her for her entire childhood and not have to go back and get another job later. And I will also have the money to be able to do things with her, take her places, vacations, things like that. So I try to balance my guilt with those things.
Yeah, and I was telling Emily, I think we were on a different call, and I was telling her that like even now, I mean, I'm a Mimi, not a grandma, but a Mimi to five littles. And the other day, I'm literally working, and my granddaughter made a comment. She's like, Mimi, this would be really fun to do this tea around town. It's in downtown Austin. And like, what did I do? Shut the computer, got her packed up, went downtown Austin, and got to go do tea around town. And that is something that I could not do if I had a job, right? Like you can't just tell your boss, adios, I'll see you later, and out the door you go, right? Like, but
Mhm.
when you own your own business, you can do that. And I think that's the great part about it is that you can just shut that computer and take your grandkids or your kids and go do whatever you want whenever you want because you get to choose. So
Mhm.
I love that. And it really hit home the other day when she did that. And I was like, close the laptop, let's go.
Yeah, I love that. And it really brings like a whole new meaning to like being able to have your cake and eat it too, because when you get to that point, you not only have the time freedom to do it, but you also have the money.
Mhm.
We bought our kids lots of different um, passes to different things. So that way, when we do have a day where we just want to go, we can go to a theme park or we can go to a trampoline park and we have the money and the ability, the time to do it as well.
So I want to keep going in this direction. Y'all are talking a lot about flexibility. What does the day-to-day look like when you're running a bookkeeping business from home as a parent? I mean, you've kind of said it, a lot of flexibility, but can you go into more detail about that?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it can be your day can be whatever you want it to be. What we look for in terms of like, let's say you've got like a handful of clients. Really, their bookkeeping deadlines are monthly. So you have flexibility throughout the entire month to
Wow.
decide when you want to actually sit down and work on it. Um, you can do 10 minutes a day. You can do one whole day a week. You can wait till the end of the month and put in like 3 big days at the end. There's lots of flexibility. Of course, it depends on how many clients you have, but you can really structure it however you want. And of course, my favorite thing is if your clients are requesting, a phone call or a meeting, which rarely ever happens, but you can decide what day you want to do that.
Hmm.
So it's nice. Nobody fills your schedule for you. You can set your own schedule and decide when and how you want to do the work.
Well, I love that. And even other entrepreneurs, other businesses that I hear people start, there still isn't a lot of that flexibility whenever you have a brick and mortar business, other businesses like that. So it's really interesting the time flexibility you have as a bookkeeping business owner because it's inherent to the service you're providing and the deadline, like you said. I think that's really interesting.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I want to back up a little bit before we get to that flexibility. We've started our business. A lot of moms, whether it's they're a stay-at-home mom, they haven't been in the typical career field for a while, or on the flip side, they're a corporate mom, they're working a lot, but they haven't worked in the finance space. They may not think that they're qualified to start something like this. They don't have the previous experience. So what would you say, Tiffany, to someone who's doubting themselves because they don't have business experience or they haven't had a lot of work experience as of late, being a stay-at-home mom or not having that accounting background? What would you
Mhm.
say to those people?
Yeah, so I would say a lot of times when I'm out networking and I meet, especially new businesses, maybe they're in their first year or two, every single one of them seems to think at first that they want to take a stab at their own bookkeeping. And I'll tell you, those people are not qualified to do it because they are not spending any time learning how to actually do it. They're
Mm,
spending time on growing their business. And so the bookkeeping is an afterthought. Could those people do their own bookkeeping? Yeah, it's easy to learn. They could learn it, but they're not because they're focused on growing their own businesses and learning what they need to learn to service their own customers. So, even if you're new to bookkeeping, if you make it your goal and your mission to learn this stuff, then you are highly qualified to help them, even more so than them doing it themselves, because you're going to be able to learn exactly what needs to be done perfectly for the books, whereas they aren't going to have the time or the bandwidth to be able to sit and learn that. Does that make sense?
yeah, there
Yeah,
you
absolutely. I want to jump in here and just ask a question because you've seen thousands, and I mean thousands and thousands of women, moms, that all of them have come through this academy, and you've seen what we call transformations, right? And I've seen them just in the last couple years myself here and but with everything that you've seen, is there any of them or one of them that maybe have been one of your favorite transformations that just really stuck with you and you're like, wow, this is so amazing that this person was able to move from here to here. And can you share that with anyone here today?
Yeah, like an example of a
Yeah.
past we've worked with. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's so many. There's so many. I mean, obviously, I love chatting about Jen and Kaylee. They've both had such huge transformations. I mean, Kaylee specifically was 22 years old when she started her business, and she was making $17 an hour as a pharmacy technician, very young mother, and she didn't know anything about bookkeeping and never had taken any classes on it or any certifications. And she made over $1 million in her bookkeeping business over the course of the last few years. And during that time, also had two more kids while she was growing. And I've had the pleasure of working very closely with her business recently as well. And I know how much her clients love her. They are always so happy and appreciative and have stayed with her for years. So that is a really cool, I mean, it just goes to show that if you want to learn this, it's easy to learn and you can very easily have a great client base that you support so well that they stay for a long time.
Yeah, I know that about her. Just when we did an interview with her, and you could truly tell how passionate she was, and it
Mhm,
really it portrayed when she spoke about her business. So,
mhm,
um, I am curious as we talk about moms, why do you think so many moms are looking for something more, like something
mhm.
that lets them keep their freedom, but also gives them a greater sense of purpose or fulfillment? Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, just in the day and age right now, with everything being so much more expensive, you really have to look for more, especially if you have kids, because I mean, otherwise, how are you going to give them the opportunities that they're going to want and need as they get older? I mean, my daughter just made the competitive dance team, so I'm waiting on that massive bill.
Oh,
I mean,
that's coming.
yeah, yeah, that's coming. But I think, especially if they are staying home. I mean, I know I made my husband a stay-at-home dad and he goes insane sometimes. So if you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, either one, sometimes you do also just need something for yourself and something to be proud of because, maybe you were really good at school and then you quit your job and you quit your passion and to take care of your kids and your family, this kind of gives you an outlet to be able to excel at something. I mean, I even like going to the BNI groups because they keep score there, and I'm going to be the best BNI member. And it's a game and it's fun.
Not competitive at all.
I know. So, it gives you a goal, if you're goal oriented, especially, this is awesome because you can keep track of your own goals by number of clients or how few hours you have to work or how much money that you've made from this month to last month. I mean, it's kind of fun to have your own little scorecard.
So, Tiffany, other than becoming the best top participant in your BNI group, what has been the biggest personal gift that this bookkeeping business model has given you as a mom?
Oh, there's just so many. I don't know if I could the crazy thing is about this is that once you get into it, like I am really bad about taking all this for granted, guys. Like sometimes I'll be around other people that, aren't business owners. They hate their job, they work all the time, and I'm like, "Whoa, I forgot how good I had it." Like I didn't even remember what that was like anymore. So
Mhm,
I definitely need to be a little bit better of reminding myself how awesome it is. And my kids are the same way. They take it for granted until they go to a friend's house and realize this friend's parents are never home. This
mhm,
friend's parents are so broke that they can't do dance with me, or they can't buy this or that. And then that's when you realize, okay, this has been the biggest blessing ever.
mhm.
But you don't always think about it, especially if you kind of get used to it and you've been doing it for years. But those are perks, just being around, being available, being able to say yes to the kids financially, but also, just by being here. Those are
I'm just going to add one little thing that I think you didn't say, and I know this about you, is that you're also teaching your children how to be entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
yeah,
Right? They're
yeah,
watching
That's
you
huge.
and you're the model, and like your son and all that, they're all taking after, you. And what a gift that is. I
Mhm.
think we should really play
yeah,
into that because a
yeah.
lot of kids don't have that opportunity like you're giving your kids.
Yeah, definitely. And, everybody has different desires and interests, but I'm really happy. My 20-year-old, he's my oldest. We're starting his bookkeeping business. And that gives me massive peace of mind because number one, he isn't going to enter adulthood with all of the student loan debt. He won't have it. It took me 30, 20 years, I think, to pay off my student loans.
I'm
Like,
still paying on two of mine. I
yeah,
get it.
Me
yeah.
too.
So I don't have to worry about that. And then the other thing is also, I don't have to worry about him struggling financially. Like when I was a young mom having him, it was a huge struggle. And I basically had to choose don't see him or be dirt poor and stay home. And I did the first one for a bit and I couldn't handle it. So I chose the second option. And it was hard. It was very hard. And I do not want him to have to go through that. When he decides he finds the right person and he gets married and they have a family, if she wants to stay home and he wants to, work that out, he'll have this bookkeeping business that she doesn't have to work. And he's going to have the flexibility to be around too. And I just think, I mean, how awesome to not have those kinds of struggles.
That is just beautiful. I love hearing you talk about that. And so if we have anybody here today, and Tiffani, you're speaking to them, a mom who is experiencing this, a dad, anybody, really, this applies to anybody, is listening now and thinking, okay, maybe I could do this. Maybe I'm experiencing these struggles in my life and I want to turn it around. Tiffani, what is the first small step that you would recommend that person take to explore this idea of starting your own bookkeeping business?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first step would just be to book a call with us, right? I mean, talk about it with us so we can, kind of go over your situation personally. Like, how would this work for you in your life and what exact changes? Because, not everybody has the same exact background or situation that I was in when I started it. So I would say that that would be the first thing. And then what we do from there is, we teach you enough about the basics that you're ready to start rolling. And then we just support you as you are growing the business.
Tiffani, thank you so much for showing us that motherhood isn't just a roadblock, but it's actually the training ground. And so I think that was so important. You hit so many things today. And so that's just rewarding. So thank you so much again. Everyone, let's give Tiffani the love, right? Share the love right here in the chat. All right. Moms don't need to wait until their kids are older to build something meaningful. And I think Tiffani really brought that home today. You're
Mhm.
you're already equipped in ways you don't even realize. And so I thought today was exceptional. What Tiffani mentioned about giving us a call. Let's talk about that for a moment. Emily, can you go ahead and pull up that QR code in the screen? All
There
right.
you go.
Thank you, ma'am. If you're a mom or dad watching this and you're wondering if this path could be for you, I want you to do what Tiffani said. Take that first step. Scan that code to book your free clarity call with our team. And yes, it is absolutely free. We just want to hear about you. We want to hear about your story. We want to walk you through what is even possible. And even if you've never considered something like this before, we want to talk to you. You already have more skills than you think, and we know you can do it. So, isn't that worth a conversation? So, I want you to scan that QR code, book that free clarity call with our team. Let's see how we can help you and let's get your business started today. So, thank you again, Tiffani, Emily. So excited for today. Today was just so awesome. So, everyone, thank you again for showing up today. We hope you enjoyed our call and we'll see you on our next one.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank
See
you.
ya.